Okay.
Hi, my name is Amaya. I am a 12th grader, and we're at El Cap right now. I have a sister, and my parents are Leslie Hardiman and Randy Tone. And yeah, some other things about me are I enjoy playing basketball, and I also enjoy playing lacrosse. I've been playing basketball for most of my life, probably since like the 3rd grade, and I started lacrosse in the 8th grade. And hopefully, going on to college next year, I can pursue at least one of them. Um, I have currently applied to 149 schools for college. I've been accepted into every one of them, I think right now, besides like 15 of them. So I'm still waiting to hear those back. Uh, I guess the reason why I did that was just to see what I can do, just to see like if it was possible that I can get into so many. It was a difficult process, but luckily I was able to do most of them before I got back to school. So I did most of them like at the end of my summer, and I went through it with my mom, so it wasn't really hard on me because I had like help. Um, in order to pay for all of them, I was able to sort of like get like fee waivers and just to help me pay for them, so then so I didn't have to spend too much money on the college applications. Um, I had to get a little bit of help from like school. I had to get some recommendation letters and go through that process, and it was a little difficult because obviously it was summer, so not very many teachers were like able to be by their phones or to help out very much. But I'm very grateful that all the teachers who I did ask, even though they were still on their summer break, they still helped me figure it out. So that was really great. Um,
May I ask you a question?
yeah.
With you said 150 schools?
Mm.
Okay. And you got accepted, of all the ones you heard back, you got accepted for all those so far?
Yeah.
Okay. So have you applied for Ivy League schools too? That's like the top 10 schools like Harvard and Yale and Princeton and Rutgers and those kind of schools in the East Coast mostly? Or California, the one up in Malibu, I can't think of the name of it, UC, whatever it is.
Yeah. I didn't.
Where do you think you would like to go to school of the schools you applied, and are they offering a basketball scholarship or some other? You said the other sport was
Lacrosse.
lacrosse.
Yeah. So first, I've communicated with some colleges about sports, but most of the scholarships I've gotten have all been like merit based. So currently, even though they're all tied to like the schools, I've currently like, received maybe like around 3.4 million in just money for, like tied to different schools. But I haven't gotten any scholarships for like sports specifically, but I have talked to a couple. And if I had to choose where to go, I really want to stay in California. Just something like how people like already know sometimes how they want to leave. Like I already know that I kind of want to stay, so it's just kind of like a waiting in to see like the last schools I've been accepted to here, because these are the ones that I'm waiting for, like all the UCs and stuff. How they come in like around like early March. So I still got a couple months to wait for those.
And can you explain merit-based, what that means for maybe students who would be watching this?
Yeah, so merit-based is when, like when you apply to some schools, sometimes you qualify for some scholarships that they give you, like when you first get accepted.
Right.
Not necessarily you doing any extra work, but sometimes they'll just say like, oh, well, we saw your application and we think that you qualify for this scholarship, so we want to give you this money if you decide to come here. And so it's really tied to only some specific school. It's only tied to those specific schools. It's like some make you do other applications for their scholarships, but other schools sometimes, if they like feel like you're a good candidate for it, they'll just give it to you when they send you your acceptance letter. So yeah.
Okay. So there's a lot of really fine schools in California, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the UC system has campuses all over the place, plus some private schools like University of San Diego,
Mm-hmm.
and other schools, you know. So, but so you'd like to stay in California?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that yeah. And how many schools have you applied to in California? About?
I couldn't give you an exact number, but I did one I did at least one in each state.
Okay.
But in California, this is where I have the most because I applied to UCs, Cal States, like regular like SDSU, and like yeah, just like any school that I thought that I would like to be still being here. So yeah.
Okay. One of the things I often marvel at is how people who are involved in so many things, like selling and this, and you're thinking about college already. It's almost the end of the semester, right? End of January, something like that. You have half a year left, a couple months left till June.
Maybe I think we have like a couple weeks left until the
Yeah,
end of
I mean, I know
semester.
the semester changes from different
Yeah.
districts. Gross mind. How do you balance sports and your athletics and games and practice, work, schoolwork, homework, family, your social interactions and friends, and any other activities you might. And how many hours do you spend studying at night on the average?
Well, first the question of like how I balance it all. It's not very an easy thing. It comes with a lot of stress sometimes. But the thing is that all I try to do is like get things done like as soon as I can. And there are some nights where like I just like can't stay up or like I need to sleep tonight and then I'll be able to finish it all. But like for studying and things like that, I try to do most of that like at school. So like just like try not to waste time in class, get it all done, and then I'm able to be done with it by the time I get home. Or if it is something that like I feel like I can finish in a couple minutes, like I'll leave it until I get home. But I do try to designate like as much time possible into trying to finish my homework because I mean that's the only really way to learn very many things. I mean,
And
yeah.
how do you? So does learning has learning always come really easy for you?
I think it depends on the subject. Math has always been my subject where like learning comes easy to me.
Okay.
Yeah. And well,
What's the
also
most challenging?
the most challenging. I would say probably like my writing, like in English, like
Okay.
because I can understand English and I can read English. I can do all that, but writing essays is where I struggle the most.
Well, it's going to get better, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
right. But as a young kid, you're already excelling,
Mm.
I assume. Now, did you go through the Lakeside Union School District, or are you in the district? Or
Yeah, I've always been.
so you've came all the way up from elementary school, middle school,
Yeah.
and now you're at Grossmont,
Yeah.
Capitan. Okay, and then okay, so I gonna make an assumption that your parents are like super backers, backing you, got your back, and really so super proud. You have a sister, you said?
Yeah, I have a
Older
sister.
or younger?
Older.
Okay. So how do you explain, how would you, if your parents are in this room right now and you were saying, hey, you know, I really want to tell you this, how are they backing you on this marvelous journey you're on?
Well, I mean, my mom first. She's always like pushed me to do like all the things that she believes in me that I can do. So at first I didn't think applying to a whole bunch of colleges was like a good thing to do because I was like, well, why? But then she also explained to me like having options is always the best thing to do, and also like you only really get to apply one time, so like why not? And I started to get on board with that, and I understood like why not see what I can do because I've already put in all this work. So my mom has always been someone that like pushes me and always wants me to do like what's best for me in my future because she and my dad have sacrificed a lot, so they always want to give me everything that they couldn't have. So I mean, by them just being there, always trying to like support me if I ever need help on anything, and them helping me, like that's always been the best part, like of how they back me like all the time. My mom and my dad.
That's great.
Yeah.
That. You know, I'd like to ask you something. We're going to wrap this up pretty soon. And I'm sure you know students, but all over, if some student sees this young person, they can be in Europe, they can be in Africa, they can be in Middle East, they can be Alabama, they can be in Northern California, it can be anywhere in the world, right? And maybe they're struggling. Maybe they're struggling financially. Maybe they're struggling academically. Maybe they're thinking about dropping out. Or maybe college is not an option for them. Or maybe they just, college is not for everybody. Right? We need tradespeople, right? That pay well. But maybe it's not an option financially, or maybe they think, or they're in a state of, they're just having a tough time, or maybe trouble fitting in. What can you tell? How can you inspire people who, especially young people, Amaya, that will be seeing this?
Well, I would just always say, like, if you struggle, always just ask for help. I know it's a difficult thing to do because I don't necessarily like to ask for help all the time, but if I wouldn't have gone to tutoring, if I wouldn't ask my parents for help or anything like that, I wouldn't be where I am. And so, if college is something that you're worried about because of your grades, it definitely would benefit you to always just ask for help, because learning comes from keep practicing, keep doing, have other people teach you like what they know. And honestly, if that's the biggest issue for you, then it's okay. Like, there's no reason to get discouraged of it, because there's always gonna be people around for you to help you. And if college just isn't the place, then I would just say do whatever makes you happy, because sometimes school isn't the place for people, but it doesn't mean that you're not gonna be successful. So, yeah.
That's very insightful. And also, we in the state of California, and I assume other states too, have a community college system that's basically no cost.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And a person could spend a year or 2 years, get an associate or a field training, and decide, well, I'm going to continue, or my situation's changed, my thoughts, or hey, the 2 years is fine, or a year. But there's all kind of training programs too, certification programs, right? Before we close in a little bit here, I wonder if you have any message to, first of all, El Capitan High School and all the people who know you, who have known you, who have seen you. You've been here all 4 years, 3.5 years, right? Yeah. A message you might have for them, and also to the community. You gave a very heartfelt message to youth, and I hope youth will come across this. But any message to the El Capitan? Do you have a person? I know you probably have a lot, but a person, doesn't have to be an educator, but someone in the school system here that has really been there for you 200%.
Obviously Mr. Gergens. Yeah, Mr. Gergens, the principal.
The principal, yes,
and,
I know him.
Miss Moya, my counselor as well.
She's been your counselor all 4 years?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
We'll make sure she gets this link.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, and anything, any comments to the community of Lakeside and the El Capitan community here, all the kids here?
Well, I mean, everything in Lakeside's honestly really tight-knit. Like, you grow up with half the people that you go to school with here. So, honestly, I just think that just having support from all my friends here and, like, just the community all together, and especially the school, has been what has helped me be super successful. So, I appreciate it. And, I mean, people think it's amazing, like, what I did or whatever, but honestly, it's only proving to myself. It's not for anyone else. So, I mean, if I can do it, I'm pretty, like, a lot more people can do it. It's not.
And I sense you're fairly down to earth.
Yeah.
I mean, you. So, how would your best friend describe you?
Probably really laid back, very chill, and probably just someone like that doesn't like to overshare, like to gloat about things. Just kind of like to your own person, like just keeping like your successes to yourself. I think that's helped like what my friend did. And I care about a lot of people, and try my best to always be kind to people and to show that I care.
Well, I really appreciate your time. We went to about 15 minutes. We went over, but you were just amazing. And I look forward to watching your success when you get to your colleges and seeing how you're doing. And hopefully you'll have the best of luck in that. So we're going to stop right there.